This morning we are going green on Motivation Monday. Every Monday I bring you conversations highlighting on people who are doing something to bring about change in the community, to give back to the community, people who have overcome adversities in their lives, to encourage you and to motivate you and to let you know there's more in you that you can bring out. So this morning on Motivation Monday, my green mission is what we are talking about. I get to hang out with Joseph Nguthiru. Joseph is an innovator working on climate change using his skills in tech. And as a civil and environmental engineer, he creates sustainable solutions for climate resiliency. This young man has won quite a number of awards. Oh my goodness. Hey, hizi awards lazima utaniachia moja. Joseph, how are you doing?
Thank you, sir.
You had to come in a green tie, eh?
Lazima.
It is so good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm just looking at all these awards you have received. How does this make you feel?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here.
Yes.
It's such an honor. I'm a big fan.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so makes me feel humbled.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me feel more responsible, to whom much is given.
Much is expected.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, so trying to make change from the smallest way possible to the biggest way possible and impact livelihoods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into all this?
Yes, so a bit of a background.
Mm-hmm.
I've just finished my studies from Egerton University.
Yes.
Studying civil and environmental engineering, the specialization of water. And it happens that during the course you get to learn a lot about environment and a lot about how it affects us and climate and everything. So the thing is now to actualize whatever you've had from the books into the ground.
Okay.
Yes. So for example, let me start with my startup, Hyacinth. It happened that we were on a class trip with my classmates and we went to Lake Naivasha.
Yes.
But then when we went there, we got stuck in that lake because of water hyacinth surrounding our boat.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were there for quite a while. So when we looked around, we were hopeless, for lack of a better word to use. Yeah, but so you see that comes up as a moment that you have to do something, because if you don't do something, no one else will do it. So we went back to school, some bit of that hyacinth. Then we started working on it, doing some bit of research and all that. What can we make
out of it?
What can we do from this? What can it become? Is it just because it happens that it's a big problem. Yeah. Not just in Kenya, it's globally, more than 70 countries. The US spends 120 billion annually getting rid of hyacinth.
What?
China spends €1 billion. South Africa spends 0.3%.
I thought it's just us and Lake Victoria.
This thing is big.
In fact, when you mention hyacinth, and I know I'm not alone, don't look at me like that. I know I'm not alone. I know for many people, when you talk of hyacinth, we just think of Lake Victoria. Hiyo tu ndio iko inakuwaga na hyacinth. Kumbe it's a global thing.
Yeah. It happens to be like a really, really big thing. Okay. Especially other countries even.
Okay.
So when we went back and did all that research, and we found out that it's actually the world's most problematic aquatic weed.
Oh.
Yeah, according to UNEP. So when we went back and started doing all the research on it, we realized that we could transform this into biodegradable plastics.
Hyacinth into plastic.
You remember those bags that were banned by NEMA?
Yes.
So we make stuff that is similar. They look like plastics, perform like plastics, feel like plastics, but they biodegrade at the end of their lifetime.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. We presented that to the president.
How do you invent things like that? So people your age are TikToking, dancing on TikTok and doing other things we will not mention because we're a Christian station. How do you even think like that?
Okay, so now we've gone back to school with hyacinth.
Yes.
And we want to do something with hyacinth, but we don't know what to do with it. So we start, then, Egerton is in Njoro, Nakuru, and we're getting this hyacinth from Naivasha.
Yeah.
But it's a distance, and public universities right now and the money. Yeah. So we try and think of what else can we use. So we go to a school botanical garden, we go and try to use the weeds that are growing in the swamp in the school. But then we realized that the swamp has shrinked. From my time in first year to a fifth year engineer, the swamp has really shrunk.
Okay.
So we decided to do a tree planting, a massive, massive tree planting. And after this tree planting, we get all, for every tree you plant, there's a seedling bag that's left. Those black polyethylene bags.
Yes.
And there are a lot of them.
There are a lot, yes.
So we did the tree planting to revive the swamp. But then we were left with these paper bags. And then we thought, wait a minute, so what if we did these weeds to become plastics? The plastics that we could use for these bags. So that's how it started. And then we did that. We made, we transformed this weed into the plastic, those seedling bags. And so the idea is that when you plant, you plant together with it.
You plant with the bag.
It biodegrades.
Yes.
As it does that, it releases nutrients. These nutrients cause this plant to germinate faster. And then because it's a containerish kind of shape, it has a bit of water retention. So you end up using less water in irrigation. And when you're transplanting, you also reduce the shock, so you increase the survival rates because the plant will imagine that it's the same environment.
Umesoma sana. Well, when the rest of us are going for PE, you want to stay in class and read.
It's good. Coming to think of it in hindsight.
Yeah.
When Philippians tells us that it's God who works in us, both to will and to do.
Yes.
So you think about it and how you in the previous show you've ever said to follow the breadcrumbs and all that. So you find out that it's something that's God's work throughout, because you can't predestine yourself going to do a course that gives you knowledge in that, and then you go to such a lake and do all that, and then all this and all this. So,
I'm just curious because I'm thinking this process requires financing.
Yes.
And I'm thinking a lot of people get stuck there. If I was to tell people to SMS me the ideas they have, people have got wild ideas, but they don't know how to make those ideas become a reality. So did you guys have a challenge where financing this project was concerned, and how did you overcome it?
Thank you. So challenge, yes, definitely.
Yes,
definitely. Yeah. But what happened is that we were privileged to be in school. So we got access to the school resources for some while. So what happened is that we used the school laboratories to do our R&D, our prototyping, until the MVP, the minimum viable product.
Okay.
And then we didn't have money to go on. So the strategy was, let's apply for awards.
Yes.
So you win an award, you get some cash.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you win some other award, you get some little cash. Oh. Yeah, because we tried to look for people initially to fund us. We couldn't get good money. Yeah. So actually the first good money came in from IGAD when we won the East Africa Youth for Climate Action Award.
Yes.
But that came in form of some laptops and phones and all that. And then Total Energies. They put us on billboards and they did all that in publicity. And then they gave us some bit of money about it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's how we planned on how we were going to raise money.
Okay.
And then, so then my team and I looked for jobs. We were employed.
Wow.
So that you can get employment and then you can get some
fund
money.
This dream.
Yeah, and fund a bit of what you're doing at the back. So that's how we've raised money so far. Okay. And then, so right now where we are now doing some partnerships with some really big organizations. I don't know if I can mention them because I don't know if they're free to be mentioned, but that's what we are trying to do right now.
Okay. Yeah. So now this plastic bags are already in production.
Now, so the demand overcame our supply or our ability to produce.
Oh, that's a good problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, the Kenya Kwanza administration wants to do 15 billion trees.
Trees.
Yes. So what happened is that the president invited us for his birthday when he was launching that event. We got to showcase to him what you're doing.
Yeah.
He was impressed. He even posted it on his timeline.
Yes.
And to become part of that, because it's a green agenda, it's going to be helping the government, it's going to be helping us ourselves, because you have a problem of drought and all that. And what you're doing is accelerating the process of afforestation and solving all those problems, creating green jobs, blue economy. So we are now trying to partner with some counties and see how we can start at some county levels and as well as some national government entities such as NACOSTI, seeing how we can partner with them as well so that we can scale up and begin massive production.
Have you received any interest from organizations outside the country?
Yes.
Nice.
For example, Nigeria, they have a big problem of water hyacinth.
Okay.
Big problem.
Yes.
We also got to win top 25 under 25 by Meta.
Yeah.
And for Young Climate Prize. And part of that reward was getting a team to do for accelerate our R&D, our research process. And the team is based in France. I know as I speak in the people in France doing lab work. We're coordinating with them.
Yes.
Yes, and we are trying to see how we can, because we're looking at a global impact at a scale that will help people around the world. So we are trying to diversify it as much as possible, see how it lands.
Wow. And you guys are the only guys in the world who have come up with this? Or are there other people who've come up with something similar?
I didn't find any others in the internet doing seedling
Nothing.
bugs.
Wow.
And we hold the patent, so that tells you that probably nobody else has done it.
Okay, nice. Is that the only thing you're able to develop out of the hyacinth, or did you guys also come up with different solutions?
As I mentioned, we started with packaging. No, we started with actually food, the tumblers that we use and straws and the plastic plates in parties. That's what we started with. And then we realized that this so we did our first ones. But we realized that require molds. Molds, the shape.
Yes.
And that's a bit of expensive, and we don't have that money. So what we did is that we pushed that formula aside. Then we not just we didn't throw it away, we just set it aside.
Yes.
And then we started working on how we can develop packaging bags.
Okay.
Like the ones that Nema banned. What you use to carry bread, for example, or salt. So we started making that. And as well as making the seedling bags. But then the seedling bags had an offshoot of demand. Yeah. So we went back to so we specialized on that.
Ingine pia mkaeka
kando tu kidogo.
Back burner.
Yeah, because again of the money required to make that in bulk. So we started now doing our specialization now is on the seedlings. Yeah.
So does it mean then, with whatever you guys have been able to come up with, that you can actually, using hyacinth, replicate anything plastic?
Not anything plastic, because there are different kinds of plastics.
Yeah. And
let me shock you. Every plastic that has ever been made from the world's existence till now, it's still somewhere.
It's still somewhere.
Yeah, it's still somewhere, because plastics don't degrade.
Yes.
They're still somewhere polluting the environment. They're either in the marine, somewhere buried underneath, somewhere burned, so then it turned into carbon. One plastic bag, the one so eliminating, is offsetting about 1.6 kg of CO2 each.
Oh.
Yeah, because plastics, the process comes from oil.
Yes.
So for oil, you have to mine oil. Then you have to do the refining process, the processing. Then they make small things called pellets. Then now these pellets are shaped into plastics. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of carbon emission in each stage. Yes. Motivation
Monday today, we are talking to Joseph Nguthiru, who's on a green mission. I'm telling you, this young man has just inspired me. There are some people you talk to, and then you live there wondering, what am I doing with my life? What was I thinking about when I was his age? Oh my goodness. If you have questions for him, 20316, SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. Daisy from Utawala, you say the young man is truly a motivation and a role model. Yes, indeed, he is. Let's talk about this solar dryer. You've also invented a solar dryer that is being used to revive pyrethrum farming across Kenya. How did that come to be?
Thank you so much. You know, the thing about pyrethrum is that when there's a pyrethrum farm, they have to harvest the flowers.
Yes.
And that's what gets the pyrethrum that is now used to make insecticides and everything else. And part of the reason why pyrethrum farming subsided in the country is because of corruption, mismanagement of the boards and everything.
Yeah.
But also because it was getting really expensive for these companies to dry this pyrethrum to the required degree of hardness and to the required temperatures, moisture content and everything. So what we did is that we partnered with a company, Kentagra. It's called Kentagra. It's also a Christian company.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so then we came up with these pyrethrum solar dryers. Now the idea is that instead of what they previously used as oil and electricity in those industries, they now use solar from the farms, so that when the farmer take this pyrethrum flowers to the board, or when they're collected, they're already dry and they've reduced their moisture content. Yes.
How did you come up with that?
Again, it's God who works to will to do.
Do you work alone, or do you have a
I have a team.
Okay, all of you are in campus together?
Not together.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
All of us are young. We've worked with different teams for each project.
Okay.
So for Hyperpack, for a startup, I have a team.
Okay.
And for what we did in the solar dryer, there's a team for that as well. Yes.
Tell me about the pipes. There's also something you're doing on pipes.
So we got to represent Kenya and mainland Africa earlier this month in the World Engineering Day. We presented our pipes. So the idea is that when usually 10% of the world's energy is spent on pumping.
10%? Yeah,
10% of all the energy we produce in the world is spent on pumping oil, water, and gas across pipelines.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really huge, you know, and we're talking about sustainability and all that.
Yeah.
And that means we have to reduce that because it's part of our carbon footprint as well. So what we did is that and part of this reason is to overcome the difference in height, and also because when you have fluids going through a pipe, you tend to have turbulent flow. Turbulent flow is when the particles are fighting each other when they're passing.
Yes.
And also when they're having friction with the inner walls of the pipeline when they're going through.
Yes.
So what we did is that we streamlined this turbulent flow, from turbulent to streamlined flow. So that makes you reduce the energy that you're using in pumping.
Because the flow is smoother.
Yes.
There's less resistance.
Yes, exactly.
Hata bit soma. Usione tu hivi.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. That's basically how it works.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we used modern technology, that's IoT and a bit of machine learning, so that we can have and detect the turbulent flow even before it happens, and you can make this flow happen seamlessly because of the technologies that exist currently, the AIs and all that. Yes. So we just place sensors inside in pipes, you know, where we have nodes, junctions, pipelines, junctions. We place our sensors, then they transmit data, and then the systems are able to change the flow.
Wow.
Yeah. It was one of the 12 projects that were presented during the World Engineering Day globally. Globally? Yes.
Did you win an award for that one as well?
Yes.
Oh.
With a team, yeah.
Hey, you're so humble, Ati. Yes. For me, I'm just, how how do you think? The reason I'm asking that is because from everything you've shared, one of the things I've picked out is you like solving problems.
Yeah.
You look for problems to solve, but majority of us look for problems to complain.
Yeah, so, it takes us back to the beginning. In Genesis, God tells, the first assignment God gives Adam was to take care of this land.
Yes.
Even before everything else,
Yes.
just take care of this.
Take
That
care
is,
of it.
Genesis 2, I think 15 thereabouts. And then I think as Christians we should be different. We are a different breed. We're literally the light of the world, and we are told to do everything without complaining.
Yes.
Yeah, so like right now it's going to start raining, or it's raining. What's going to happen is that we'll have our drainages getting full.
Yes.
We'll have floods.
Yes.
Probably like Budalangi and the common areas. So what you're supposed to think
Then
is...
we'll complain.
We will complain, and
Yes.
we'll say, Serikali,
Yes.
what. So the thing is, like, can we solve that? Can we get a solution for that? Okay, so it's raining. We're going to get a bumper harvest.
Yeah.
Definitely, right? And can we store that food in a way that we won't have to protest and riot about food prices? It's going to rain. Can we store this water?
Yes.
So that we don't complain about food prices, because we have dams already that will store this water. We have water pumps.
Yeah.
We have tanks even.
Yeah.
That we can use later on for irrigation, for such schemes. Like we won't have to do all this over and over again. Take Israel for example. It's a dry country.
It is very dry.
Very, very dry.
Yes.
And they export food. Yeah, so I think the solutions lie with us. We don't have to complain over everything, but we need to find the solutions to what you're complaining about.
Yeah.
Because the solutions are, again, here with us.
Is this what you always wanted to do?
Partly, yes and no. I've always wanted to make change.
Okay.
I've always wanted to, create impact to society, because even at everything that we do, we first put impact before profits. And that's how we deal with everything that we work with. So by God's grace, I went to Alliance. And after my Form 4, I had this whole range of options to do. I didn't know exactly what to pick. So it's God's grace that I found myself in Egerton, because I thought I wanted to do law.
Oh.
Yes, I thought I wanted to fight for justice.
Yeah, neighbor there wanted to do law.
Yeah. For some weird reason, I don't know. I had all the cluster points and everything else, but they didn't put me in that. Yeah. So so that's how we got
That's
here.
how you landed here.
Yeah.
And you didn't look back.
No, I didn't look back.
That's interesting, because many people would have thought of changing, because this is not really what I wanted to do. It's amazing how all things work together for good.
Indeed.
To them that love God and are called according to His purposes. Someone here says, you're doing great. Keep moving forward, my friend. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Is this, what other project are you working on? Are you doing anything on roads?
Yes. So we worked on roads. You realize that roads are one of the biggest infrastructures that we have.
Yeah.
And in roads, we tend to also have a lot of pollution because of the vehicles that are passing through these roads. So what we did for roads was a project that we also did from Egerton University. So we created these roads to be a bit of smart, such that vehicles emit gases, which are pollutants, which cause greenhouse gases. Can we absorb these gases from the roads?
Okay.
So that they don't have to pollute the environment.
Yeah.
And when they absorb that, can we convert them to something?
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what we did. We managed to create almost a whole pavement of roads using the normal how roads are normally done. Yeah. Normal procedures and everything. Then we changed the top of it And we used materials that will make these roads become cheaper in construction. And after they become cheaper in construction, you also have them taking in the emissions that are coming from these gases, from these vehicles rather. And they turn these gases, or they break down the components of these gases to something that are not so bad for the environment. Yes. So that way you have kind of solved the problem of the problem of the cost that goes into roads construction, and the problem that is caused by the emissions that are on the vehicles in the roads.
So is this something that is already being used?
For that one, we totally lacked funds.
What were funds? These are the kind of people you need to fund.
We did our prototypes.
Yeah.
They worked. And then we didn't find, we didn't get the money to continue with that. So we put that aside, and we were one day, one time.
Does
the
government help young innovators like you with some of these projects that you're trying to come up with?
For our project right now, Hyacinth, the government entities that we worked with, part of the awards we won was the best manufacturing startup in the country.
Okay.
That was during the Kenya Innovation Week. And we got to partner with Kenya National Innovation Agency, and as well as NACOSTI, National Commission for Science, Technology and Innovation. Those are the government entities that mostly deal with the sector of innovation and innovation in the country and research. So we've tried to partner with that. But again, the funding that goes here, even to them themselves, the funding they receive is a bit less.
It's little.
Yeah, it's little compared to in all these forums I've been going, and all the places I've been invited to. We've met a lot of people who have brilliant ideas, a lot of people who have things that can literally change the world. I was with some girls from a school in Wood Creek, and they had a solution for malaria. Some teenage girls, but they didn't know how to get the funding and all the support to go on with that. For example, and it was part of their innovation week. But so the ideas are there and everything is there, but I guess there is a lot of underfunding. Would you
say there isn't enough encouragement for young innovators in our country?
Partly, yes.
Okay.
And so I attribute, and I would probably say that's why we have a lot of brain drain. Because I've been invited myself. There's a country that gave me an MSc to go and study my master's without even having completed my undergraduate.
Oh.
Yes.
Mbona hukuenda? Ama ulienda na ushamaliza?
Bado. So the thing is, and I told you there's a team in France that is working on our and then we have this interests that are coming from abroad more than what we have here
locally. That's a shame.
Yes, it is, because if you look at all what we are losing potentially, I know people go and they give Kenya back returns in form of the reanimation that come back to the country, but that's less compared to what these people could actually be doing in Kenya. The guy solving the traffic problem in London is a Kenyan.
He's a Kenyan.
We have traffic congestion in Nairobi.
I'm telling you.
So people going to town and all that, they can't get on time because of traffic. But we have someone who has the solution, but we're not using him.
That is sad.
So so because of the lack of the funding and lack of the support that's getting into these avenues, I'd say it's contributing partly to why we have a lot of this brain drain.
Hello Family TV, I'm Steve from Egerton University. Salimia Nguthiru sana, he is always my inspiration when it comes to engineering. Steve, amekusalimia.
I'd like to kutuma salamu. Egerton see you.
Egerton see you.
Egerton University Christian Union. That's where I've been mentored. That's how I've grown. And Deliverance Church Utawala and Deliverance Church Mbakasi.
Ah,
Yes.
nice. What would you tell parents who are listening in? I'm assuming that growing up, you are one of those kids who liked to,
Yeah. So,
what would you encourage parents who see that curiosity to know how things work, to innovate things? They see that in their children. Kuna wale watoto ukikuja jioni unapata amebomoa TV. Anataka kuona ni nini inakuaga huko ndani.
huyo mtu ako wapi?
How does this thing work?
Yeah.
What should parents with children with that kind of a curious mind do?
I think actually it should start from the schools. We need to have something in the curriculum that gives more attention to innovations. There is some attention, but it's not much to warrant people to think outside the box. Because, you know, we are taught normally, enda shule, usome, upate job, you go get married.
Yes. Buy a 4x4.
Yeah, 4x4. You know, yeah, all that. 5-bedroom house, all that.
Yes.
And then your story is done. You die, we bury you, and then your kids go on with the same story.
Cycle.
We don't have a provision where someone can disrupt the ecosystem and, you know, think outside these timelines that have been set by the society for you to, like, that confinement.
Yeah.
So for the parents, maybe it's allow your child to experience this whole new world out there. A lot is happening right now.
Yeah.
The generation that is getting right now, the Gen Alpha, Gen Z, going, like, everything is different.
Yeah.
We are living in the time of IoT, Internet of Things. We have AI, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
It's taking over everything.
Yeah.
And it's come to a point where if you can't use AI will probably kick you out of your business.
Very true.
Yeah. AI is doing what we can do and much better. Quicker, faster, with more accuracy, you know, and all that. And robots do what we could do with our manpower. So it's time to rethink the system, I think, and to encourage these kids to actually explore their talents that are outside the domain that we've set for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 minute, something you haven't mentioned, Adopt a River.
Oh,
what is Adopt a River all about?
Adopt a River is the coolest thing we've done.
Okay.
Yes, and doesn't involve any lab work, no science, nothing. We realized that innovations alone will not stop climate change.
Yeah.
We will not stop pollution, will not stop people from using plastics. So what we did is that we went back to the ground and we started with several teams, and that involves a lot of CBOs as well. Yeah. And we started telling people the effects of this climate change, the effects of the responsible packaging and all that, why they shouldn't, like, throw trash everywhere. Yeah. And while you do that, we involve them in a river cleanup process. So, you know, like, there's a whole stretch of a river, but we can't do the whole river. Yeah. So we do, like, a portion, about 10 to 20 meters, together with that local community, as we tell them.
So they take ownership.
Yes, they take ownership of that section, and we tell them why it's not good to throw this here. But if it's a banana, you can throw it here because it can biodegrade. But if it's paper, you'd rather give these guys, and then they go. If it's plastic, if it's metal, and all that. Yes. So you change, because if you change the consumer level, if you change at the consumer level, you solve the whole crisis.
Very true.
Yes.
Hey, my friend. Mungu alikupatia akili na unaitumia vizuri.
Nashukuru.
May the Lord open up more doors for you and your team.
Amen.
And that funding may it come.
Amen to
that. All those projects that are on the back burner, may they find funding so that they can come to the front burner.
Amen to that.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much, sir.
My time is up this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you remember, my friend here mentioned Israel. We have our Israel trip still happening. You need to sign up. If you haven't been to Israel, hata kama ushawahi, it's good to go again. Once is not enough. What you need to do is check out our website and sign up and be a part of that trip, because it's a trip that will change your life forever. Yeah. So tutafute kwa mtandao, go to their website and go to the trips page and sign up. Or just send us a message and we'll get back to you and give you all the details you may need to know about this Israel trip and why you need to be a part of it. End of May into June, 10 days of a life-changing experience. Cost is only $2,550 USD per person sharing, and it's something worth your while. So think about it, get in touch before the space is run out.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.